Good morning. My name is Andrew. This is the Morning Hash. I just want to make sure we're up and running. Give me just a moment. What the hell's going on? Is it going? Okay, we're good to go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew. This is the Morning Hash. And I do realize that Restream doesn't have the best audio, so I apologize for the kind of maybe muffled or quiet audio. It's much better on OBS, so I'll be switching over to OBS, but we'll worry about. There's plenty of news to get into, and we're going to get into it right now. Excuse me. Let me get a sip. Let me get a sip of water. I apologize rushing around, but Tesla protesters, air quotes, Tesla protesters and terrorists is really what they are starting to fuck around and find out. Well, they've already fucked around. They're in the find out stage, excuse me. The FAFO is really coming full circle. This is per Zero Hedge. The title of this article is, "There Will Be No Negotiating. Tesla firebombing suspect hit with federal charges and faces 20 years in prison." Good job. You ruined your life for some globalist douchebag who doesn't give a flying fuck about you. Good job. You ruined your life, you damaged society, and now you're going to find out. Now, this is authored by Rudy Blaylock via the Epoch Times. I tried to get in the Epoch Times. I got to sign up for stuff. I'll do it later. The U.S. Department of Justice has filed federal charges against a suspect in connection with a firebombing attack on a Tesla dealership in Loveland, Colorado. Cooper Frederick, he's got kind of that dead-eye stare, right? You know, where it's like there's nothing underneath because A, he's a Democrat in PC and he doesn't have an inner monologue, and B, he's pumped full of SSRIs. Pale, pasty, thin, scrawny, scraggly, SSRI and soy-infused. Cooper Frederick, 24, faces federal charges related to the March 7th attack, according to Attorney General Pamela Bondi, who announced the charges on Monday. Hey, Bondi, I'm very happy to see you doing this, but there's a few other things you need to do as well. Just as an aside editorial, you need to, restore every single Second Amendment right in this country by suing people like J.B. Pritzker who commit treason when they violate constitutional rights. And we're probably never going to get the Epstein files at this point. Sorry, I digress. I made it clear, this is per Bondi, I made it clear if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism, I've made it clear if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, we will find you, arrest you, and put you behind bars, Bondi stated. Today, I'm proud to announce that the Department of Justice has unsealed federal charges against another Tesla attacker. And this is domestic terrorism. It really is. I'll say it a million times. Anytime that you use violence or the threat of violence to further any politics or religion or ideology, you have committed terrorism. Frederick, a Fort Collins resident, was initially arrested by Loveland police on March 13th on multiple state charges, according to a City of Loveland news release. The charges included possession of explosives, second-degree arson, criminal mischief, and criminal attempt to commit a felony. He committed a felony. Not just attempt, he did. A fire erupted after an incendiary device was thrown at the Tesla building and landed between two vehicles. Several people inside the building were cleaning at the time and could have been injured or killed, according to the news release, which stated a responding officer quickly extinguished the fire. Larimer County jail records show Frederick bonded out of jail on March 14th. I wonder which Soros operative paid for his bail. Bondi stated in the same announcement that following the latest charges, Frederick was rearrested in Plano, Texas, following investigation by the FBI. Okay, so they arrested him. They found him after it happened. He was bailed out, and then they pressed more charges. Then they pressed more federal charges and arrested him. Okay, good. Frederick's arrest comes amid a wave of violent attacks against Tesla properties since CEO Elon Musk became head of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, in the Trump administration. Incidents have occurred in at least 9 states since January, with targets including Tesla showrooms, vehicles, and charging stations. According to a report by the Epoch Times, on March 18th, 2 Cybertrucks were set ablaze at a Las Vegas repair center, and "Resist" was spray painted on the building. Resist. They all think they're fucking revolutionaries. They all think they're freedom fighters. They all think that they're going to go down in the history books. I heard someone say this yesterday. I think it might have been Kirsch, whatever. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. That these people, there's either useful idiots, right? This guy's a useful idiot. And there's people who believe that after the Marxist takeover, they will be in the upper elite class, ruling over us, the slave class, right? And people like this, the useful idiots, they think that the elites are going to treat them so very well, and that they're going to give them everything they want, and that they're going to give them their social utopia where nobody has to work for anything, nobody has to go to a job, everybody has the same clothes, everybody has the same this and that and everything, and nobody has to work for anything, which is actually true, because you're all going to be in the same camps, slaving away in the same mines, wearing the same drab clothing. You'll all be treated the same. You either work or you're thrown into the pit. That's the only equity they're going to give you. Where do we go? Over that incident, this is about the 2 Cybertrucks set ablaze at Las Vegas. Over that incident, police arrested 36-year-old Paul Hyun Kim on March 27th, charging him with 15 offenses, including arson and firearms violations. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Assistant Sheriff Dory Corin said Kim had self-proclaimed affiliations with far-left organizations, including Communist Party, USA-affiliated groups, and other movements. What a shock. Excuse me. In February, a suspect allegedly threw 8 Molotov cocktails at a Tesla showroom in Salem, Oregon, while armed with a suppressed AR-15. Additional attacks have also occurred in Charleston, South Carolina, and Austin, Texas, the Party of Peace. All of these cases are a serious threat to public safety. Therefore, there will be no negotiating. We are seeking 20 years in prison. Good. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You will suffer the consequences of your actions. We live in a society where everyone tries to avoid the consequences of their actions. And they are so fucking shocked when it smacks them in the face. And we'll get to an example of that. Let's just finish this real quick. Let's see. In Canada, approximately 80 Tesla vehicles were also vandalized in Hamilton, Ontario on March 19th. President Donald Trump has condemned the attacks on Tesla properties, suggesting perpetrators would face long sentences for their crimes. I look forward to watching the sick terrorist thugs get 20-year jail sentences for what they are doing to Elon Musk and Tesla, he said on a March 21st post on Truth Social. During a town hall event in Green Bay, Wisconsin, on Sunday, Musk condemned the attacks. They're burning Teslas and shooting up dealerships and calling for the death of the president and me. That's somebody else's car. Leave it alone, Musk said. And you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday, too. You're messing with someone's car. Someone goes to a job. They work their fucking ass off to make money, to pay for a car, which is a very, very expensive investment. Cars are very expensive, and they need that car to get to their job so that they can pay their bills and put food on the table for their kids, and they can take their kids to school and the doctor's office, and they can go see family and do everything they need to do in our society. And you come along and you fuck with it just because you are mentally and emotionally unhinged, because you can't deal with the fact that the federal government is being audited. You fucking loser. A group called Tesla Takedown has organized protests at dealerships nationwide. On its website, the group states that Elon Musk is destroying our democracy. And he's using the fortune he built at Tesla to do it. They never tell you how he's destroying democracy. They never tell you how. Just fuck. It's one of those things where they just say it because they want to elicit an emotional response, right? He's destroying democracy. It's kind of like reproductive rights. No one's going against your right to reproduce. You have the right to reproduce as much as you want. It's my right to kill a baby. Call it what it is, right? This is the Marxist language. This is how they do it. This is how they subvert everything. They change the definition of words. They elicit emotional responses by saying destroying our democracy, stuff like that. Let's see. The group called for a global day of action on March 29th, which saw protests targeting Tesla around the United States and smaller scale rallies in several European locations. I actually, in our hometown, we had a very, very, very small demonstration. There was a photo. I saw one photo of it, and it was 11 people standing outside the Tesla dealership, just holding signs, just standing on the grass. And I think I counted about 8 boomers. It was like 7 or 8 boomers and 3 or 4 of their loser kids, it looked like. At least that's what it looked like. That's all I could see. There might have been other photos, but fuck them. So these people are starting to fuck around and find out. Here's some more people finding out. This guy right here is confronted.
Service. How about you pay for the repairs?
So this guy, this guy's being confronted.
Free service. How about you pay for the repairs? Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off
No,
with a towel.
no,
It's not
no.
a heat.
It is a
It
hate
was
crime,
it was
sir.
A crayon.
It is a hate crime.
Listen,
Did you write?
So this guy keyed a swastika into the side of this person's Tesla, and he can't believe he's being confronted about it.
A swastika on there?
I'm sorry you're upset.
I'm sorry you're upset. You're the one that's upset. You're the one who has a problem. I'm sorry that you can't deal with the swastika I carved on the side of your fucking Tesla. I'm not sorry for my actions. No. They'll never admit they're wrong. They'll never, ever admit they're wrong because that involves self-reflection. That involves looking yourself in the mirror and saying, maybe I'm not right.
Did you write a swastika?
It didn't even work. Apparently it doesn't work.
Did you write a
The crayons
swastika
don't
on
work.
the... It's a key, sir. We see it on the video.
It's not a key.
Did you? Is it a...
Apparently this guy, too, I don't have the article, but apparently this guy's some kind of business owner in Pennsylvania. I heard Yellow Flash did a video where he found this guy is a business owner in Pennsylvania, but they're not like they weren't certain on what they think. He owns a limo business, but that's not 100%.
I was
Swastika?
probably putting my keys in my pocket.
Is it a swastika?
Have you looked at your car? Is there a key mark?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it a
That's
swastika?
impossible.
It's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because
You see that? It's at the police right now being fingerprinted. Watch his face.
it's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because they...
Wait, whoa. What do you mean? What do you mean the police? Why police? What do you mean? I'm going to suffer consequences? Oh, my stars.
They were trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down. So your business, your freaking livelihood, everything now,
Listen.
because you chose to write so to tell Facebook that you're sorry
getting
for writing
updates.
a swastika on a
Now, he's not talking now because now he's trying to think of how he can get out of this and how he can get the police out of this.
Tesla.
Listen, I said I'm sorry.
For what?
And I
For what?
apologize.
For what?
I have nothing against
For
your
what?
car, and I
You have nothing against my car? Why the fuck did you draw a swastika on it?
have nothing against you.
Then why did you do what you did?
So why
Okay.
would you write a swastika on a Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not.
So why the fuck do you take it out on a citizen? Some dude just driving his car. These people we need mental asylums back. These people are fucked up.
Not the
So
way to
Elon
show
Musk
my-
owns that car because
No,
it was
he
bought
owns
and
the
paid
company.
for. It was bought and paid for a long time
That's
ago.
why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right,
sir.
we're gonna.
I did not intend to do this. So then why the fuck did you do it? They have no inner monologue. So what I mean is before he carved the swastika in the side of the guy's car, he didn't stop to think, first of all, is this right? Second of all, what might be the consequences? He can't abstract down the road. He can't think beyond what is right in front of him. He can't think beyond having just a straight emotional reaction. He is not able to process and think down the road. He can't do it. It's not that he won't. He can't. Oh, baby's up. Baby's up and crying. So there's that guy. Here's another one. This guy's vandalizing. Let's find the ones who have fucked around and found out. A deranged liberal slapped with felony charge for vandalizing a Tesla. The act of vandalism reportedly caused $2,623.66 in damage to the mechanism of the electric car door's handle. Yeah, you don't even have to ask if this person's a liberal. Jesus fucking Christ. What else? Let's go through a few more. This is a total success in catching a Tesla vandal. Look, they caught him.
Is that Tesla?
No.
Okay.
His name is Jim Pellis, a former regional sales director for Armor Code in Massachusetts. He waited until no one was around, casually walked up to the Tesla and, thinking no one would see him, dragged his key across the car's paint, leaving a deep scratch. What he didn't realize was that Tesla's built-in cameras were recording everything. Crystal clear footage. No denying it. It didn't take long for the internet to track him down. His company put out a statement distancing themselves, saying they don't condone vandalism and that this is now in the hands of the authorities.
Yeah.
And Jim? He went into full panic mode, deleted his LinkedIn, tried to erase himself.
Every time. Delete the social media. Every single fucking time. I mean, there's no better way to scream, I'm guilty.
From the internet. But it's too late. This is going to haunt him for the rest of his life.
Yep.
Imagine being a grown adult and doing something this stupid. If you don't like Musk or Tesla, fine. But damaging someone else's car doesn't hurt Elon. It hurts a regular person who worked hard for it. And thanks to Tesla's cameras, he's now facing the consequences of his actions.
Good. Fucking good. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of them. Look at them. And they're all... look at these. These are all people who should know better. These are so-called adults. A lot of people in their 50s and 60s. A lot of deranged boomers and Gen Xers. Anyway, so let's go to... let's move on real quick. Actually, hold on a second. I'm going to take a quick restroom break. We're going to take a real quick break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It'll be two minutes. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Sorry. That was pretty quick, though, right? I know I do this every stream. Like 20 minutes in every time, like clockwork, I gotta pee. I chug water like crazy all freaking morning. Excuse me. I gotta get it out just once and I'm good. You don't want to hear about that. TMI. Let's move on, though. This is from Zero Hedge also. Now, the other one was, well, anyway. Evil people. Organized bankrupt Tesla group tied to formerly USAIDS-funded disinfo queen. This is really something. We're going to go through this, and we are going to see how the government, groups still within the government, right? Probably won't be there for long, have been using our tax dollars, right, to pay for these Tesla protests and this Tesla terrorism. Okay, we're going to go through this and connect a few dots and see why the boomers are so fucking stupid. Excuse me. On Tuesday morning, former Biden administration disinformation czar Nina Jankowicz repeatedly refused to disclose who's funding her new gig, the American Sunlight Project, which cropped up after a stint at the USAIDS-funded UK-based Center for Information Resilience, for which she registered as a foreign agent while serving as their vice president. To review, Jankowicz, who previously served as a disinformation fellow at the Wilson Center, advised the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry as part of the Fulbright Clinton Public Policy Fellowship, and was then selected to head the Biden Department of Homeland Security's newly formed Disinformation Governance Board, which was quickly dismantled amid criticism over censorship under the guise of fighting disinformation. Boy, there's a lot of 1984 Marxist bullshit going on here. Now, remember who this woman is. Remember this lady? Remember her who did this insane song, this psychopath who did this little song?
Information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious.
Oh my
It's
God.
how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared that intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo, and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice, or vote. Oh!
So this is the point of the show. We're going to say we're kidding, we're making all of this up. It's not really happening in the country you were born in, but it is happening.
It is happening. This fucking psychopath. This is who we're talking about, okay? There she is. That's where she belongs. 4 months later, she launched the Hypatia Project for CIR, where she was the vice president until April of 2024, at which point she co-founded the American Sunlight Project. Fast forward to this morning, and this article was written April 1st, 2025. Fast forward to this morning, Jankowicz was evasive when asked by Republicans during a congressional hearing on disinformation about her funding. This is on Twitter.
Ms. Jankowicz, your organization, the American Sunlight Project, claims to have a commitment to transparency and apparently does not extend to disclosing its donors. Has the American Sunlight Project received funding either directly or indirectly from the George Soros or his foundations, including the Open Society Foundation?
Thank you, Congressman. I've received a lot of threats for speaking out, and so I've decided that we are going to abide by the rules that other 501c4s in our country abide by, and we are not required to disclose our donors, small or large, because I frankly don't want them to be threatened the way that I have been.
Yes. In so many ways, yes. Oh, by the way, I'm the victim. I'm the victim here.
So sunlight for other people, but not for your donors.
If you're interested in more sunlight, I welcome you to introduce some legislation to overturn Citizens United, sir.
These people are fucked up in the head, man. This tweet right here says, Nina Jankowicz, the short-lived head of Biden's Disinformation Governance Board, a.k.a. the Disinformation Czar, refuses to say if her organization, the American Sunlight Project, is funded by George Soros. It is. I mean, what... Well. As it turns out, Jankovicz's co-founder at the American Sunlight Project is Carlos Alvarez Aranios, a communications professional who worked for the Biden Department of Defense and is one of the people who launched the call for a boycott of Tesla. Alvarez Aranios comes from a wealthy and prominent family in the Dominican Republic. His father, Luis Alvarez Renta, is a well-known Dominican financier. Carlos is a nephew of the renowned fashion designer Oscar de la Renta. You starting to see the pieces yet? You starting to see the pieces yet? USAID's, Department of Defense, both taxpayer dollars being used to pay these Tesla protesters. Here it is on Twitter, right? Let's zoom in a little bit. I mean, this isn't surprising knowing all the things that have come out recently, right? It's not surprising, but we're starting to see all of this information come to light so we can really connect the dots. Tesla protesters are all paid. A post on Reddit recruiting protesters revealed the secret. First-time protesters can get $200, and second-time protesters who are recorded on video will get $1,000. Everyone should know where the money comes from. And this guy's out here trying to talk to these people. Here, this is
What are we doing here today?
Oh, sorry,
Well,
Bob.
there was a protest here, but as soon as noon hit, they all vanished. They clearly don't really care that much about this issue because as soon as
They all vanished because that's all they were paid for, just that period of
the
time.
clock ran out, they were like, yeah, we're going to go home. Bye.
That's
That's
it.
enough. I think it's ridiculous to rally against an American business that creates American jobs. And
Thank you.
again, there's a reason why Donald Trump and his administration were given the mandate.
You know what's interesting? There were like 100 people on the other side of the road, and almost none of them wanted to talk to us.
No, because they don't have any idea why they are there. They're getting paid to be there. They just show up, don't talk to anyone, hold a sign, and then go home after 4 hours. That's it. They have no idea why they're doing it. And that's your tax money at work. That's Elon Musk's tax money at work. That's my tax dollar at work. Paying to destroy an American company and encourage violence against American citizens. You don't hate these people enough. And this is what I want to go back to Pam Bondi for a second here. I want to go back to Pam Bondi. We keep getting all this stuff where it's like, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And yeah, the guy in the first story, let's go back to that real quick. The guy in the first story may be facing 20 years in prison, and a lot of these people are going to be facing prison time, and they're going to be felons, and they're not going to be able to vote again, which is hilarious. But until people like Nina and Carlos, where are they? I'm all over the place, excuse me. Until Nina and Carlos are arrested and thrown in prison, and their bosses, the people paying them are arrested and thrown in prison, nothing's going to change. So Pam Bondi, Trump administration, Kash Patel, do your fucking job. This is what we wanted you to be in office for. To get the people who pay them, who control them. Nothing will change until you do. Do it. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? Carlos Alvarez Arenos said that he is one of the people who started the effort to bankrupt Tesla. He worked for the Department of Defense under Obama and for one of the lawfare nonprofits Protect Democracy. Let's see what this is. How long is this? This is a minute 17.
They call it the Tesla protest. Tesla's a day of vandalism. Now, I was one of the people that launched the call for a boycott of Tesla.
So this is him.
I need to have on my resume so that I can get a job when this thing is over, that I bankrupted Tesla, or that I helped bankrupt Tesla.
I helped bankrupt an American company that has created tens of thousands of jobs and billions of dollars of revenue.
That is a very important thing to me personally.
Why? It's important to you personally to destroy America?
Please do everything you can to bankrupt Tesla. But but I can tell you that story, and that story is not a story of violence. It is not a story of vandalism.
Really? Then what the fuck are the people you're paying? What are they doing? It looks like they're firebombing people.
It is a story of the American people using their economic power to send a message to the oligarchy that they can't buy this country.
You hear what he did there? You hear how he kind of flipped it? He said it's a message from the American people using their economic power. He kind of justified. I know what he means. He means don't buy Tesla. That's what he means out in the open. But in his mind, in his head, because he has used American tax dollars, taxpayer dollars to fund this. He really means that. That's what he means in his mind. By the economic power of the American people. I have taken your tax dollars and I have put it to good use. That's what he means. That's what his understanding of what he just said. Outwardly, it looks like just don't buy a Tesla. Okay? But what he really means is, yes, I know what's best for you. I know how to best use your tax dollars. I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. I'm going to use your tax dollars to fight this evil, evil Nazi fascism country, or company, excuse me, and country. That's what he means.
This country is not for sale. And so Fox News, rather than working for the people that are trying to buy us, including your owner, Rupert Murdoch, that piece of shit. What?
Okay, I think we've seen enough of this cocksucker. So, and there's some dots being connected here. Yeah, and yeah, again, they highlight what he said. I need to have this on my resume so I can get a job when this thing is over that I bankrupted Tesla. What a piece of absolute dog shit. Alvarez Arenas has been scrubbed from the American Sunlight Project's website, which is why the Internet Archive exists. Absolutely. Early organizers of the Tesla takedown protest said last month that the organization's goal is to drive down the price of Tesla stock. Again, there's a break point where if the Tesla stock goes down to like 114 or 115, something like that, they have to start like repaying all their debts. So that's why they're trying to drive it down. That won't happen. It's not going to happen. Another Tesla takedown organizer, Edward Niedermeyer, told Fortune magazine that dropping Musk's wealth is exactly their aim. Again, I will reiterate that if you took 10 billionaires, the ratio is something like, for every 10 billionaires, 7 or 8 of them donated, something like 7 or 8 of them donated to the Democratic Party, and 2 or 3 donated to the Republican Party. The Democratic Party is the party of billionaires. Absolutely they are. The goal, I would say, is to bankrupt Elon Musk, bring down his empire, he said. Read more on the Tesla takedown. Okay, Musk chimed in, calling the organizers evil people. They are. They are pieces of shit. These are anti-American communist scumbags. There's Nina Jakowitz, this fucking psycho. Here's there's one thing I want to show. Oh, yeah. We saw all the people being paid. Look at these people out. Look at all these boomers out protesting Tesla. They have no idea why they're out there. Maybe they're getting paid, right? Not all of them. Some of these boomers think all they want to do with their life is fucking complain. But let me tell you something, boomers. Go away now. Time to go away. Goodbye. Go back to your condo on the Gulf Coast of Florida. Go down to your little condo in Florida. Go to your spring training condo in Arizona. Smoke your weed. Listen to your Jimmy Buffett and your Beatles. And go around your neighborhood bitching and moaning at each other, okay? Leave the rest of us the fuck alone. You're so stupid. You have no idea, right? And we're not finding this out, but I guarantee if I showed this information to a boomer, they wouldn't believe it. I said, guess what? Your tax dollars and the tax dollars of your children are going towards paying you to protest. So you're paying yourself to protest an American company, and you don't even know why you're fucking doing it. There's a Ukrainian flag. That's fucking brilliant. So it isn't that like a boomer and if you told them that, they'd probably say, good, at least I'm paying myself, because everywhere boomers have ever gone, they have just voted to give themselves more and more and more and more at the expense of everybody else. It's time to go away, boomers. Go away. Goodbye. Here's another one. 10 at most. Mostly elderly and retirees were given signs to hold and told to repeat words.
I am buying one more today. Loser.
Who's this guy? This is some Indian dude in a Tesla, and he's driving by. Listen to him. He's driving by all these.
I'm buying one more today. I'm buying one more today. Losers!
I love this guy. This dude's driving a Cybertruck. Sounds like some Indian dude driving a Cybertruck with like a megaphone. He's like, I'm buying one more today. You losers. Fuck you. I'm buying one more today. I have to watch this again.
I'm buying one more today. I'm buying one more today. Losers!
I want this on a t-shirt. I am buying one more today. I want this on a t-shirt. Oh, it's fantastic. Musk is a lemon. Oh, I get it. Implying, like a car lemon. Fuck, just fucking look at them all. Look at these boomer Karens everywhere. Go away. God damn it, look at them all. Oh, God, he's got a dog. Son of a bitch. Fake news reporter from the Compass Knox was begging me to add another Trump supporter to give a statement at the boomer Tesla protest. I told him I don't talk to propaganda media. Okay, that's enough of the boomers. Go away now. Time to go away. I brought this up too just because it's the party of peace. We saw them terrorizing, people who own Teslas and Tesla dealerships and whatnot. This is Newsweek. This is from March 30th, 2025. The Republican Party's HQ was set ablaze, tagged with ICE equals the KKK in New Mexico. The Republican Party of New Mexico's headquarters in Albuquerque was intentionally set on fire in an act of arson and vandalized with a spray-painted phrase, ICE equals KKK. The Democratic Party is a dying creature. It is a dying creature, and it is lashing out with violence because that's what dying creatures do. It's all they have left. They have pushed so many people away, and they will continue to push so many people away. Remember, there was a CNN poll a week or two ago where they asked who best represented the values of the Democrat Party. And the top choice was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with 10%. It was 10%, and then it was Kamala Harris and a couple other people. And I spoke about this in my video yesterday. It's Obama has like 4%, and now that Trump is talking about trolling them about a third term, all of the Democrats are pushing back saying, Obama, we need you. They're starting to get behind Obama. The reason I say this, the reason I bring this up is because they don't have any idea what to do. Trump is trolling them to the point where they are going to ditch support for anyone who might actually be eligible to run in favor of someone who's already had 2 terms and can't run. Think about that. They can't organize any support behind anyone except a guy who can't even be president. They're a dying creature. They have no idea what to do. Let's see why it matters during his 2024. Okay, I'm not going to go super into this. But I just wanted to touch on that because again, the party of peace and joy and happiness and hope and all that crap. Jesus. What else did I have? So I wanted to bring this up. I just wanted to throw this out there because again, it's our tax dollars at work. The NPR thing. Catherine Bill Maher, Catherine Maher, I don't think they're related. The leftist NPR CEO who appeared before Congress yesterday is really currently the chair of the board at Signal. That's interesting. So the extreme leftist CEO of NPR is also the chair of the board at the Signal app that had the text leaks. That's interesting. I wonder if she had anything to do with that. I wonder if we'll find out. She's also on she's on the Council of Foreign Relations, UNICEF, National Democratic Institute, Atlantic Council, Department of State Foreign Affairs. And I brought this up because it's our tax dollars at work. But let's hear, this is from Matt Walsh. This is a Matt Walsh short. Let's hear some of the crazy shit that she said in Congress. You've probably seen this, but let's just take a listen.
The most remarkable moment in the hearing came when Congressman Brandon Gill questioned the head of NPR, a woman named Catherine Maher. Maher repeatedly dodged and lied under oath to the point that it seemed almost like a comedy routine. Watch.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
It has evolved. Why did you tweet that?
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Okay. Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You tweeted that in reference to a book you were reading at the time, apparently.
Look, that's the face. Shit. That's the face of someone who has never been confronted about their bullshit. Oh, where'd it go? Hold on. I just hit some fucking stupid button on my mouse. Catherine Marr, NPR. It should be very easy to find. I'm sorry. Where's it at?
I am pleased to
That ain't
introduce
it.
our witnesses today.
I won't spin forever.
Paula
trying to find it.
Kerger
There it
is the president.
Maybe the most remarkable
Chief-
moment in the hearing came when
Sorry,
Congressman
sorry.
Brandon Gill questioned the head of NPR, a woman named Catherine Marr. Marr
It's a
repeatedly
short, it's only a minute
dodged and
long.
lied under oath to the point that it seemed almost like a comedy routine. Watch.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
It has evolved. Why did you tweet that?
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Okay. Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You
Don't know where
tweeted
statement
that in
comes from.
reference to
That is the face of someone being confronted with her bullshit for the very first time in her life, and she can't fucking believe it.
a book you were reading at the time, apparently, The Case for Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
You tweeted about it. You said you took a day off to fully read The Case for Reparations. You put that on Twitter in January of 2020.
Apologies, I don't recall that I did.
You don't remember if you read a book just a few years ago? I'm sure glad you're the CEO of NPR, in charge of putting educational material out on public broadcast for kids. You can't remember if you read a fucking book? Jesus fucking Christ, these people. All right, moving on. All right, the next big thing we've got, you may have heard, this is on modernity.news from Paul Watson. This was originally published on Zero Hedge. So there's a new Netflix series called Adolescence, and it's apparently making quite some noise, quite the waves, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. And we'll go through this, but basically this is a social programming piece of media designed to make you think that white boys are the biggest problem in society. So the assault on masculinity and the assault on our children and our traditional values and our families continues. So let's go into it. This was written on March 25th of 2025. The progressive media is swooning over a new miniseries produced in Britain and distributed by Netflix called Adolescence. And after reviewing the story, it's easy to see why. Now, I have not watched this. I have no intention of watching this. We don't have a Netflix subscription for reasons just like this. British government officials are hailing the show as a wake-up call and are using it to promote online censorship of the manosphere. Leftist journalists are seeking to drum up artificial interest, calling it a masterpiece that exposes the toxic nature of masculinity. At a time when the political left is losing the... By the way, toxic masculinity, toxic right, toxic... Who are these? Who are these people? Who are all these people? What are they doing? Are these the toxic people? Is this who you're talking about? Is this woman a masculinity? Is she toxic masculinity? Is this who you're talking about? Interesting. Oh, let's see. At a time when the political left is losing the culture war on almost every front, it's not surprising that they would hyper-promote an otherwise forgettable series that panders to the woke demographic. Its depiction of a teen murder driven by the terrible evils of conservative influencers who expose the irrational zealotry of feminism and DEI is pure propaganda fodder. A desperate attempt to double down, there's a typo there, to double down on woke arguments that have been debunked for years. The creators of Adolescence cite a recent string of knife attacks against girls in Britain as the inspiration for the series, but in typical progressive fashion, the production ignores the fact that the vast majority of these crimes were committed by minority and migrant males. The teen killer in Adolescence is a white British boy, not a minority. Remember, where can I find it? Where can I find it? Oh, shit, where'd it go? Oh, I think it's in the article. Sorry. Remember this guy? You've probably seen this. Axel Ruta Cubana. So it's loosely based on this guy, this black kid who, when he was 17, killed these 3 girls. This monster killed these 3 girls, and Netflix is turning him into a small white boy. Huh. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Are you telling me that you had an opportunity to tell a black story and you race swapped him for a white boy? Isn't that racism's? You had an opportunity to tell a story from the black community, the black minority community in Britain, and you completely fumbled it because you turned it into a... It sounds like you're racist. Aren't you supposed to be highlighting stuff like that? Or don't we want to hear more minority stories out there? So then why'd you turn him into a white boy? It sounds like you're racist. The creators of Adolescence, British white boy, not a minority. Britain has seen an 80% increase in knife attacks in the past 10 years. What could have possibly happened over the past 10 years that would have done that? Leftists claim that this is because of a rising movement of anti-feminism. Well, if you consider this guy an anti-feminist because he killed these 3 girls, if that's what you mean, where was I? But something else has been happening in the UK for over the past decade that offers a better explanation. Mass immigration, predominantly from third world countries and Muslim populations that have little regard for women's rights. It reminds me of when that German foreign affairs minister, or whatever the fuck they call her, went to visit the terrorist who is now in charge of Syria. And it was the global feminism meeting the backwards Middle East moon god. And the moon god worshiper refused to shake the feminist hand. But she went there to give him money anyway. Over 53% of all knife crime in Britain is committed by minorities and migrants, representing only 18% of the total population, according to data collected in 2022. I'll just let you play with that one. In the vast majority of attacks on women and young girls, the suspects are minorities, as was the case with Southport killer Axel Rudabakana, I don't fucking care how his name is spelled, who killed 3 girls and wounded multiple bystanders at a dance recital in July of 2024. The event was the last straw and led to British protests and riots. He killed these 3 girls. He was sentenced to 13 life terms. He shouldn't be breathing. In true Orwellian form, the Brits tried to blame the weapon and the seller of the weapon instead of the murderer. The British government and media went on to campaign to scapegoat online retailer Amazon for making it so easy for the killer to order a knife. Blame anyone but the criminal. And by the way, they blamed the weapon. Remember what they did here? Let's see. Ninja swords, now banned in the UK.
Sell, make, or import the weapon from...
Not katanas. Not katanas. Ninja swords.
We begin with breaking news. The government has banned ninja swords 3 years after the death of 16-year-old Ronan Kanda. It will be illegal to possess, sell, make, or import the weapon from the summer with any...
How about, don't get rid of ninja swords. Maybe get rid of all the ninjas who are using the swords.
Anyone caught with a ninja sword potentially facing 6 months in prison.
Wow.
The ban is part of measures known as Ronan's Law.
And the satire can't keep up with this fucking crap anymore. It's called Ronan's Law, which is just close enough to Ronin. You can't make this shit up.
Which also requires retailers to report bulk or suspicious sales to police and an increase to jail sentences for selling weapons to children. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, said it's part of a wider mission to try and keep children safe.
We know how you can keep children safe. Get rid of the fucking criminals. Let's see. They did this because he is a second-generation immigrant whose parents came from Rwanda in 2006. Meaning, and the reason they said that The reason they said they did this because he's a second-generation immigrant. You can't blame the immigrants. It's always, they don't know any better. They're coming from a war-torn area. They just don't know any better. We have to try and understand them. Go fuck yourselves. The minority crime problem was becoming so pervasive that it was damaging the leftist government's pro-immigration position, so they stopped reporting the ethnicity and migrant status of people arrested for such crimes. British police refrained from cataloging ethnicity in almost 40% of all cases in what the government argues is an effort to stem racism. If the perpetrator is white, their ethnicity is generally recorded. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's read this one pair. We're almost done here. No, we're not. Never mind. So, again, reading this last paragraph, the country of Britain, it is now official. The two-tier justice is official in UK policy. If you're from an ethnic, cultural, or faith minority, courts must consider it before sentencing. One rule for some, another for everyone else. Justice isn't blind. It's checking a diversity checklist first. This is real. This is happening. It's already happened. It's been codified. I want to go to this. Remember, two-tier justice system has been enacted. White people, especially white men, will be treated more harshly, and yet we get shit like this. From the Daily Mail. And now these are just, I'm not going to go on, I'm just using these as examples, but this was the Daily Mail. A teacher's gang rape blackmail hell. A group of children were arrested, including Iraqi and Afghans, after a school tutor suffers hours-long sex attack and is forced to buy the youth drugs. Let's see. Congratulations to Mufti Hamad Patel for becoming the head of office for standards in education in Pakistan. Oh, sorry for the typo. He's the head of office for standards in education in Britain. Here's a nice, the head of the UK justice system, right in there, Muslim. So is it unsurprising? Is it unsurprising that they enact a two-tier justice system where these people will not be treated as harshly? They will be let off the hook? There was a Pakistani, he was either a Pakistani or Afghani man who was a convicted pedophile, and they refused to send him back to his home country because he was an alcoholic, and they feared that he would receive shame. He would be shamed in his home country. That's real. You can look it up. Here's Parliament. Is this? Oh, that's an AI. That's got to be AI, right? 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 I don't know. This one's real. I know this one's real. Jesus Christ. And now you have people like, I'll move on after this. You have Nigel Farage, who says that someone who is in his political party has been captured by the online radical right with myriad X posts about mass deportations and other preoccupations. Britain, you are fucked. I'm getting a little off topic here, though. There is an attack on our children, on Western civilization. You know this, but look how deep this runs. Why is it unsurprising when you have these people in charge of a so-called Christian nation, and they are not willing to prosecute their own, and they are more than willing to prosecute the white Christian men and demonize them and make you believe that they are the problem? You bet your ass if Kamala Harris would have won, this shit would be all over the place in the United States. We still have a big problem where we have to stop this. We have to stem the tide of this shit creeping into Western civilization. But here it is. I don't know what Britain's going to do. I honestly don't know what Britain's going to do. And by the way, yeah, Keir Starmer said that he has backed Netflix's plan to show adolescents for free in all schools across the country so many young people as possible can see it. As many young people as possible. So, how do you think it's going to go? What do you think the youth are going to believe, especially the young men? How do you think they're going to react to being called a piece of shit and you're the problem of all society's ills? What do you think that's going to do? Do you think it might radicalize them? You think it might push them away? Do you think that they may get angry that you're calling them terrible human beings and toxic masculinity without any evidence to prove it? Oh, wait, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is what they do. They create this problem in their minds. They convince themselves that it's all the young white boys, and so they start punishing all the young white boys for no fucking reason whatsoever, and the young white boys have no idea why they're being punished because they didn't do anything. So what do you think that's going to do? It's going to destroy the relationship with their parents. It's going to destroy the relationship with their institutions and their government and the education system. And they're going to be jaded, and they're going to get angry. And then if they do lash out, all of these people will say, see, I told you. It's exactly what they want. I don't know what you guys are going to do. I've got a few ideas. Maybe it's always, the answer can always be mass non-compliance, but it'll never happen because it involves everyone getting on the same page. And what I mean is, if all the white people, all the native white people in Britain, one day just decided to not show up or just stand up and fuck off out to the countryside, what would they do? If the white people just stopped showing up, what do you think would happen? What do you think would happen? They can't force you to show up, but they would try. They damn sure fucking try. That's the only thing. What if all the white people stop paying taxes, right? Just stop paying your taxes. Say no, go fuck yourself. It would take an act of mass non-compliance, but that'll never happen because people will never get on the same page. What do you got to say, Keir Starmer, you piece of shit?
Work together, and what can we do as a society to stop and prevent young boys being dragged into this whirlpool of hatred and misogyny?
Remember, this is the piece of shit that stopped the investigation into the grooming gangs, where all of the illegal alien so-called migrants, Pakistani, Afghani, otherwise, just rape young white girls. It's just what they do. That's their culture. That's the culture they brought in. That's the culture that they're sharing with Great Britain and Europe.
And it is young boys predominantly in this particular instance.
Which young boys?
But also, how can we protect young girls that are at risk? Because
don't pretend like you care about young girls when you're letting people in who kill them. Don't fucking pretend like you care about young girls. You don't care about anyone, you fucking piece of shit. There was one more. Here. Here we go. A woman. Oh, what the fuck happened there? A woman. Why is it doing this? Oh, come on, Yahoo. Let me read your stupid article. What the fuck is going on here? I'm not going to sign up for anything. A woman admits the Netflix show Adolescence has made her scared to have kids, especially boys. Seeing what teenagers, especially boys, go through in today's world makes me wonder how anyone navigates parenting without constant fear. This is the other thing they want to do. Don't have kids. They don't want you to have kids. Meanwhile, I read something where I think the average like Middle Eastern illegal in Britain has something like 5 or 6 kids. I mean, the most common name now, the newest, for babies is Muhammad. They don't want the white people to have kids. They want to scare them into not having kids, especially young boys. They're killing all the young white girls. Oh, and by the way, Britain expects all of the young white men to sign up and go die in Ukraine. You're being replaced. Knife violence in Britain has increased 78% in the past decade. Wonder what changed. Fuck you, Keir Starmer. Look at this. Hundreds of youths can be seen running towards the town center following a gang knife fight. Locals are being warned to stay away and stay inside. So this is Britain. This is Britain. Where are all the young, toxic masculinity white boys? Where are they? Where are they? Huh. Interesting. Europe's in a bad situation. Bad situation. Let's see. Breaking news. Italy publishes, this is from January, Italy publishes horrific immigration crime statistics. Migrants make up 8% of the population, but commit 28% of the murders and attempted murders, 33% of assaults, 41% of rapes, 49% of burglaries. The UK government is too cowardly to publish these stats. There was another one. Germany. Foreigners responsible for 100% of serious sexual assault cases in Frankfurt, 57.4% of all crimes. Good. Fucking good. Like Europe, what are you going to do? You're being conquered if you haven't been conquered already. What are you going to do, guys? All right. We'll wrap it up here pretty quick. But there's... The best way that you can combat this, the best way you can combat the assault on our children, our families, is to have a family, start a family, raise kids. And the other thing we need to bring back into our world is spirituality, like real spirit. I'm not saying I myself am a Christian, believe in God. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying anything, but you need something in your life to help to give you a moral compass, right? So that you can teach your kids to have a moral compass. Families are a wonderful thing. It gives you, just like this woman here, right? She's not even going to have a family now. She's so scared about this shit. They want you to be attached to nothing. They want you to be a nihilist. They don't want you to have a family. They don't want you to have kids, because if you have kids and a family, then you care about what's happening around you. If you have children, you care about the future. You are invested in the future. So you care. If you don't have kids, you don't care if society's burning around you. People who don't have kids, people who don't pay taxes, they don't give a fuck. They don't have an investment in society. They don't have an investment in the future. Having a family, having kids, starting a family will change your life for the better. This is how we fight back. Form communities built with good traditional families. A healthy society is built from the ground up, not the top down. It is built with strong traditional nuclear families. All right, moving on real quick. One more thing. Attorney General Pam Bondi directs prosecutors to seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. Bondi called Thompson's murder a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination. Let me zoom in a little bit here. There we go. Attorney General Pam Bondi is directing federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione if he is convicted of the December murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, she announced in a statement Tuesday. One of the federal charges against Mangione, murdered through use of a firearm, makes him eligible for the death penalty if convicted. Mangione's murder of Brian Thompson, an innocent man and father of 2 young children, was a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America, Bondi said in a statement. After careful consideration, I have directed federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty in this case as we carry out President Trump's agenda to stop violent crime and make America safe again. Okay, there he is. There's Mangione. Mangione's attorney, Karen Friedman Agnifilo, whatever, called the decision to seek the death penalty political and said it goes against the recommendation of the local federal prosecutors, the law, and historical precedent. All right, and I wanted to bring this up because, yeah, there it is, newsworthy, but get a load of this. This is from California. Back to Zero Hedge. And the title of this article, this was Monday, March 31st. The title is The Luigi Mangione Access to Healthcare Act. I will say that again. The Luigi Mangione Access to Healthcare Act. California considers a ballot initiative named after United Health CEO killer. This is not April Fool's. Just when you thought Democrats couldn't outclass themselves after Representative Jasmine Crockett referred to Texas Governor Greg Abbott as Hot Wheels, here comes California to make sure you're always entertained. Something like that. A new California ballot initiative, named after alleged United Healthcare CEO killer Luigi Mangione, has been filed with the state attorney general. It seeks to ban insurers from delaying, denying, or altering any doctor-recommended treatment that could risk serious harm, including death or permanent injury. This is going to push a lot more insurers out of California. But isn't this isn't this fucking psychotic? Democrats 100% support murder. They 100% support killing if it's in the name of something they believe in, because they believe they're revolutionaries on the right side of history. And they think that they will go down in history as being justified in destroying all of this. If passed, the initiative would require that only physicians, not insurance company staff, can decide to delay, deny, or alter medical treatments. Hiring non-physicians for such reviews would become a felony. I don't know too many of the ins and outs. I know a few, but just that part doesn't sound awful. A doctor should be the one who is able to decide you need this now or we should wait. That should be the doctor's decision 100%. It shouldn't be up to some underwriter in an insurance company. I'll speak of personal experience on this. I've been to rehab 7 times, so I've got some experience with the insurance either approving or denying it. The first time I went, I was in there for 23 days. But as I went on, as I kept showing up, the trip got shorter and shorter and shorter. And that's because insurance kept denying it. Right? There was one where I went into the counselor's office, and she had the insurance underwriter on speakerphone, and I swear to God, his exact words were, "Well, we don't think he needs to be in there that long because he's already been in there a few times, so we just think that he needs he just needs a refresher. Like he just needs to be reminded that you shouldn't be drinking." And so I was only in there for like 8 days. Say, we just think he needs a refresher. He doesn't need the whole program. And so they denied my insurance. So, yeah, I agree the doctor should be making that decision. But the title of this is fucking psychotic. Good job, California. Jesus fucking Christ. Insurers would bear a high burden of proof if they delay care, needing clear and convincing evidence that treatment was unnecessary or wouldn't prevent serious harm. Patients could sue for treble damages and attorney fees. Okay, but what the other thing that will happen is this will push more insurers out of California. They don't care. They just think they're doing the right thing no matter what they do. They spend other people's money because it's easy to spend other people's money. It's not coming out of their pockets. They write all this shit thinking that they're going to go down on the right side of history. They don't think about anything because, once again, they're just NPCs waiting for their download from their bureaucrat master overlords, their globalist overlords. And they have no inner monologue. I know I say that a lot, but anyway. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining me if you made it this far. If you enjoyed what you hear, please hit the like and the subscribe. And I will at the very least be back with the live stream Friday morning. Might just do a video tomorrow, but we'll see. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself.